This is such a sacred day for Australians. What are you doing to try and maintain as many commemoration services as possible?
Well, good morning, Laura. And you're right, it is a sacred day of commemoration, and it's an opportunity for Australians to gather wherever possible to, in a very dignified way, pay our respects to all men and women who've served. Obviously, the 102,000 who have given their lives, probably the most paramount issue on the day, but also we recognise the men and women who continue to serve today, the men and women who helped during Operation Bushfire Assist and COVID-19 and Fiji just this year. So we recognise all those servicemen and women, and what we need to do is work with the states and territory governments, work with the RSLs which run the Anzac Day services, and make sure that they can have as large gatherings as possible, because people want to gather, they want to pay their respects. We need to do that in the most respectful way we possibly can. So it's a bit early now to say exactly what's going to happen in each state and territory. It will depend on their health conditions at the time, but it is disappointing that we won't be able to have those international events this year, but that's based on the advice from health authorities and from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. It's
most important that veterans are able to go to these commemoration services back home, isn't it? How can you ensure, I mean, there's concerns in the ACT about social distancing, so what do you envisage will happen to ensure that veterans can get along to these commemoration services?
Well, again, Laura, it's going to depend on each individual state and the condition they're in at the time in terms of health advice. I mean, I look at the situation where I am today here in my electorate of Gippsland, a little town called Bruthen. Now, this town right behind me on Anzac Day will have a dawn service, and people will be able to gather here. It's outdoors. They'll be able to maintain the social distancing rules as they currently stand here in Victoria, and hopefully the rules will be in even better shape in the next 6 weeks or so as we get closer to Anzac Day. So you're right, Laura. I mean, Anzac Day is obviously at its heart a moment of personal reflection, so although we gather in large numbers, it is about personally showing our respect. But for our veterans, those who are with us still today, they want to gather with their mates, they want to catch up with people they may not see much throughout the year. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced a lot of isolation on people, and our veterans have often felt the pain of that, perhaps more than other parts of the community. So we're doing everything we can to work with the state health authorities, with the state governments, but also the RSLs which run these Anzac Day events, to make sure as many people as possible can gather and pay their respects on the day.